This was the very first adhan call I have ever heard. This was the first Islamic ritual I have ever witnessed, just shortly after I was born. This is how I was welcomed to the world and to Islam. My spiritual life was already decided by my geographical location the moment I was born. When I was in 6th grade, there was a film that increased in popularity due to its terrifying nature. Parents were enforcing their young to watch the film as a reminder of death and how terrifying it is for those who sin, especially those who listen to songs and delay prayer. Rabbi Ja'un, roughly translated as Lord Return Me, shows a guy carelessly listening to music. He continues listening after hearing the prayer call, then falls asleep after. He dreams of Israel, or the angel of death, capturing his soul and what follows. This film, though its bad quality and production, succeeded in bringing fear to many kids. My siblings and I were frightened. I saw my older sister in tears following the film. I went ahead and asked her, "Why are you crying?" She replied, "I was missing some prayers on purpose. I'm scared." With the increasing accessibility and popularity of internet and cell phones, there was a period of time in which so-called miracles started to gain popularity. I remember the photo of the girl who turned to a beast after she purposefully threw Quran on the floor, the recording of the lion that roars Subhanallah, and one of the most terrifying for me, the carpet that kneels to Allah. Something about the clip and music combination makes me feel uneasy to this day. I was lucky enough to be born into the minority of Shia. It's the second main branch of Islam after Sunnah. Crying, slugging chests, and bleeding is perceived as worship. I remember myself in a dark place with women in black crying and screaming all at the same time. No, this is not a nightmare. I was in Husayniyah, a place for Shia to do their rituals. Someone once told me that if I ever shed one tear to Imam Hussein, I'll go straight to heaven. However, it won't be effective unless it was from heart. One day in Husayniyah, I was thinking about it and tried to do it. But that's the point. If I try, then it's not from heart. I cannot not mention the 12 Imams of Shia here. I was led to believe I must memorize their names, as that will be an answer to one of the questions I will be asked in my graves by the two angels, Munkar and Nakir. Paintings of the 12 Imams of Shia are seen in any Husayniyah or Shia places. It's also not unusual to see these paintings framed and hanged in houses. With the miracles I hear about paintings moving and crying out blood, I was terrified of them, especially when alone. A poster of the 12 Imams of Shia with their names, birth and death dates, and places of death is normally hanged in each house. This is to remind everyone in the house when they are expecting to celebrate the birth or grieve the death of an imam. The death of an imam is accompanied by certain taboos to avoid. These include chewing gums, eating sunflower seeds, listening to songs, and for some families, watching TV. Growing up, I didn't have much of a social life aside from school and family gatherings. That's mostly due to the fact my parents weren't fans of letting girls go out to other houses to visit friends. To my parents, girls going out a lot are considered bad-mannered. They didn't want me and my sisters to turn that way. My father didn't care much about family trips and traveling with his own family. No dining in restaurants, no going to beach, and no traveling in the country or abroad. The only time we traveled together was to Mecca when I was 5 years old. It's not that my father wasn't traveling. He was traveling, but with his friends rather than his family. I don't know if I can blame my mother for letting him get away with this and not trying to convince him to change. Maybe she did try without me knowing. My mother was under a lot of pressure from my grandmother and my aunts, whom she believed they were trying every opportunity to ruin her reputation. The times when we as a family traveled together were limited to 3 occasions, up to 2 times a year to my father's small forest, for Eid shopping in my father's pickup truck, some inside the car and some in cargo. Sometimes we go to the weddings of close relatives. I remember one time my sisters and I prepared home for a relative's wedding. We wore makeup, dressed up nicely, and were ready to go. My father finally came home. It looks like he didn't feel like driving. He looked at us briefly, then went to his bedroom unbothered. We felt betrayed and heartbroken. I was in school having a conversation with my closest friend at the time. The topic of going out came up. She was talking about how bored she was from visiting local beaches and mountains. She asked me when's the last time I went to a beach. I replied, I've never been. You've never been to a beach? She said, surprised. My immediate reaction was to lie to her. I said, of course I did. When my older brother turned 16, he wanted a car. He was talking about how he would relieve my father from the load, that is us, and how he would take us to places we didn't get a chance to go to yet. My mother was trying her hardest to convince my father to grant him his wish. He was her precious prince after all. Once he got the car, however, we didn't see much from him, and not only that, my father was still taking us for Eid shopping and such. My brother basically made a fool out of his family. How disappointing. At this point, we had no hope anything would ever change. Peeking out the window was joyful and entertaining for my sisters and I. We were watching people passing by and spectating the neighbors' kids, watching them come and go. The time they go to football field, and the time they come back, and how they are interacting with one another. We were also picking favorites like we do watching cartoons. One day, my father was coming home and looked up. He saw some of us peeking. We knew what was going to happen. We hid under beds and hope he won't find us. He grabbed my leg and I clung to my sister's leg. He managed to pull us both out with one hand. A wood plank was waiting for us. Later we found out it had some nails sticking out of it. Later that day, we all gathered to sing about his stupid boat while jumping on beds. It was very satisfying.